the sun and give thanks for today and for our creation. Wabanagi people.
My father told me one that these were caribou trails. Caribou, that's their real name, caribou. He said they used to travel through here.
We have lived here for such a long time because of the river. There's so many different herbs and tubers and stuff like that you can feed off. All throughout the year, you can live right along the river here and get different types of species of fish and live off just fish alone.
We go near the burial places and go do ceremonies over there, to ask for guidance or for answers. When we pray, it is so simple. It just comes from the heart and a direct connection with our ancestors right then and there, and the Creator, and the whole creation. It's not complicated whatsoever.
Medebanagia, an ancient Mi'kmaq village, links its people to their ancestors of over 3,000 years.
Well, Nadujiwa, Nuchawa, Namidra, Tendojek. The Uchala did you get books away at you? Well, I did. Desi bowl, wag and dangoy. Naiga, you can again. Nishka, del the age ago. Delagan, I. Nibuktuk. Nucho, Delimadon. Ucho. Go in the door, dojo, jojo, Julia age. The Julius Pudak. Me daddy, how I don't know light now. Sa hawe gigan do no skoida bne kula dat ia makal dukti ju ai mi awa pem ko bin nokte da bek ko ji de ma na igen edlin ta espede gola ikte ga sa mi ma juina bitter makal dukti ju na baskeid an mastela del kitelem deli model na
I'm Don Capelin. That's my street name. And my native Micmac spiritual name is Red Rock Turtle Spirit. I'm a traditional elder. We really respect the sacred burial places, but it's our teaching place also for our people. So that when you respect the old ancestors, they will respect you.
I've been in this community most of my life. Once in a while, they call me to do a smudge and a prayer to open a ceremony or whatever. Then that's a very sacred thing, but also it involves the people in something that is part of our culture.
Miguidet, now nuchel delim to ben wegisa, loda wedge to the do at the dabua, nucho git we again, National Geographic, Nakoi. It'll get like Todahan wedge diagalaiska, Ohio, Boston Kawai. And then the gistlick or Senegaya, one time in the middle of Nucho and Delic Belango.
I was working with Black Diamond Construction at that time, working on a rock crusher, and I used to see some arrowheads bouncing by. and one of them was a very large piece, a spear, almost like a spear. And I took that and I put it in my pocket, and you know, I was going to take it home and show it to some people.
Elliot nada. Ya we work gumu sini god. Maswara ke oswadla. Qalibuli oswara. Iska waqti maqad miyawe. Tabu sis el kabara qalibuli. Nana mede guys. Segai gunde jo نصعد وبيكون دو أمنيش كلام بعده واجد حيج ما تجحت ليبن حيج قندو يا يتلاو سيوايد مين مخشي واجد حبيج وعنده من جيجين مدانون.
The band council decided to call Chris Turnbull, an archaeologist from the University of New Brunswick, to come and investigate the site.
Chris Turnbull dalwada ويجد لا مولا تقدر عن بوجهنا جايش وهاي وجهه وبيام دلوا قدير نقول ونجات كوب ملاجان كنا ميري تقدر عن.
I remember Donald Ward was chief at the time, and he was saying that we're going to have a project that's going to employ people in the community, and it's also going to be education for the future generations to come, and it's going to, you know, it's going to benefit everybody in the long run.
My respect for the sacred burial mounds is that when our ancestors were buried, we left them there, so they're not supposed to be bothered, or we're not supposed to go near any grave sites, because we respect them with ultimate respect.
At that time, anyway, he was saying right now, you know, it may seem like it's a bad thing to do, but in the long run, you know, you have to weigh the pros and cons about it, because if you let the construction company continue on, all of that would be lost, and there would be no evidence or proof of anything that people were here that long, you know.
My brother's buried back home near the fasting grounds, and I generally go there to go offer some tobacco. I ask him, you know, you're in the spirit world now, come and teach me what you know, so that I will know some things spiritually through you, or through prayers and offering tobacco. You know, that's what we do.
In 1976, after 4 years of talks regarding the find, a team of archaeologists and community members commenced a dig at the site now referred to as the Augustine Mound.
I'm Susan Blair, and I'm an archaeologist, and I work at the University of New Brunswick. I began to sort of formally work here with Metapanagia as a sort of a technical advisor, as somebody who has worked in archaeology in this region for 20-some years, and has worked on archaeological materials from the time period around when our Augustine Mound was created. The site that we've tended to sort of situate Augustine Mound in is the Oxbow site.
Well, I'm couple of days. More than we saw was a very deep one, gravel. Up on a guy has of that you'll develop to come with it. Our sacred burial mound, being here so long, you know, it really connected us to the past.
In the old days, they had specific areas. Our ancestors were used to be buried with birch bark all the way around them in a fetal position and facing the east.
there was an awful lot of birch bark. It's very difficult to know how many people were originally buried at the Augustine Mound. There are 11 sort of groups that look like 11 individuals. Those remains were studied very quickly in respect to the community wishes and then were reinterred into the mound. There was preserved human remains, and there was also preserved basketry, wooden objects, bark objects.
To us, you know, when our people go to the spirit world, they need their best regalia, they need their sacred pipes, they need their tools, spiritual tools, that's what we call them.
Where did you do no age? And no, listen. Del the gunjina. Nask da unjak. Where go it bedak? Waar in my nemidash. When a waar in nemidash. Kispader. Where do Dandela go? But gate we down, listen to Benahola. No, Sarama or nada lamus. In that buoy. How we can that?
Supposedly, over 5,000 years ago, an old Micmac medicine man, he was very powerful at that time. I believe to this day he's buried over there. That's 5,000 years ago. His name is Snapping Turtle. The reason why I know that, because one of our young elders had fasted, and Snapping Turtle came to visit him during his fast.
There is that link through that line of thinking to the people of Augustine Mound being somehow connected into prestige and perhaps through that some kind of chiefly status in the community. But again, it takes a certain number of leaps to try and come to those conclusions with very little evidence.
Dandel der dem ha da elweji da ga thoda nicht der wege galuk. Da lagi gal na dan gon khoya. Gundal dlawo. Je wege dem man bitax na gundel e ban gundel. Borasit. Mia wege.
They also placed in with the remains a series of objects, including stone tools that they had brought to this area from great distances away, as well as locally made stone tools.
Het lugar ni nada na weji do gais. Da e dip kon waski jo da e wege bo gais big so big dag. When was you up nada wege bo.
We had over 4,000 copper beads recovered from the Augustine Mound. Copper, for the people of this area, was a very rare and beautiful material and would represent an actual physical wealth.
Historical records prove that the Mi'kmaq traveled great distances. This was evident by objects found in similar mounds as far west as Ohio.
The archaeological record was excavated, for example, at Oxbow until they hit the water table. We don't know how much below the water table there were archaeological deposits. I know that the water table was at about 3,000 years down, the layers that were 3,000 years down. There could be thousands of years of layers older than that.
Just up river, from the Northwest River, they found another place where it goes back to 5,000 years. It's even older than this mound. Penfield, they found stuff there 10 to 11,000 years old.
The Augustine Mound, when it was found, really surprised many people and changed many of the ways that we think about the past.
Metabenagya is a community that has been occupied by Mi'kmaq people for a very long time. There's documented history, historical information about the Mi'kmaq people that we've lived here as a community because of the Grand Council system. The Grand Council system stretched on all the way down to Massachusetts.
The people who built the Augustine Mound here were engaged in really broad trade networks for goods. People were able to have this interconnected life that was expressive and rich in material culture and rich in ceremony. So I think that it's a tremendously significant site for those reasons.
Education is really good for everyone. You know, some of the people here in the community don't speak Mi'kmaq. Some of the people in the community don't know anything about who they are as Mi'kmaq.
Archaeologists generally are now respecting the wishes of Aboriginal people that, you know, burial sites are not places that should be disturbed for, you know, reasons that are not in the community's interests. And but that said, there's a tremendous amount of archaeology that is about sort of understanding human activities outside of those kinds of settings, places where people perhaps made stone tools or pottery or cooked meals, and those are also very important and special places, and undoubtedly there are ceremonial components to all of those kinds of activities, but they are different in the sense that they're not places where human remains were placed.
It's very sacred. It should be kept sacred, and it's not to be, our ancestors don't need to be dug or whatever or exploited or whatever. They don't need that. If anything else, go over there and pray and offer some tobacco and just tell them thank you, thanks for this place. You know, we appreciate it because we're here, you know, to respect you now. Come and teach us, you know. We need your connection.
It's not open. It's not an open. It's not for people to just come and go all the time. It's just a sacred place. People want to worship, want to pray, and if they want to, people have fasted here too.
Our ancestors of long ago trying to show us respect in this day and age, because like I was saying, everything's so fast, we forget to reconnect. And it's these sacred places that help us to reconnect in a good way.
To preserve the historical importance of the area, Medapanagia Heritage Park was built in 2007.
Well, at Metapanagia, one of the things that I think has been very exciting is, as well as the fact that there's this tremendously rich archaeological heritage in this region, is the way in which the community has become a part of its exploration. And the park is an expression of that. So this is a place that was created through that kind of mutual relationship between community members, archaeologists, and people who are really interested in the broader heritage of New Brunswick and of Eastern Canada.
This place here, you know, is known as a village of 30 centuries, and you know, our people have been here for thousands of years. You know, shouldn't that be proof enough for some of these claims? You know, that our people are still living here. It should have some impact on claim for the land and the rights and use of lands and so on.
Our younger generation, we could tell them, come and pray over here. Maybe you can get some healing from there. Just ask our ancestors in a respectful manner. I'm glad that it's into existence today, because we know we can do ceremonies over there. We know that's very ancient. We know that's very old, because it represents our ancestors of long ago, and that's why I had to go pray over there and sing a song to respect our ancestors and to teach me more medicines, so that other people can benefit from their answer. It's a very special place.
Migui dadam nutjo age. He duali na gesadam ni age. Gujum gesadam. Ni booked panegaw. Ni booked se oin nebilik. Nutjo na nagama. Nega wala got ni booked. Kanjuga molo ko kasi mugisl dive ni booked na basket eget. Akal na kanat ko eget. Akal da holail. Tebakan jil, tebakan nil da ko. Kasi.
Amigam waju dandu jiu medu wegiga awe hawe we hawe awe hawe awe hawe ach mig chik delu kwaladu beji